Good morning and welcome to Psychology Today. I'm here with Mr. Chiu. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, Mrs. Huben. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited to talk about an
So
experiment.
am I.
Oh, right. Okay, so I'm happy today to talk about an experiment you did in 2009. So if you could tell us about the aim of your experiment.
So what I wanted to do was I wanted to see if exposing European American participants to another culture would increase their stereotypes about their own culture.
It sounds very interesting, and I'm sure everyone is wondering how you did this.
So I used 58 European American participants who happened to be undergraduate students, and I had two conditions in the study. A single condition in which the participants were shown a Nike advert featuring a Caucasian male wearing the Nike sports stuff. And in the joint condition, I showed them the same advert, but next to it was an advert for a Chinese shoe. And in the advert were some lovely young Chinese men showing the same facial expressions and behaviour as the Caucasian male in the Nike experiment.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did you find? What did you do after you showed them this?
So after we showed them this, we then asked them to rate the likability of the adverts. However, this was not the goal of our actual experiment. As what we did next then was we took a test to measure their attitudes towards the dimensions associated with the American and Chinese culture.
Very interesting. Now, what did this show? What were your results?
So the participants in the joint condition rated the Americans as seeming more individualistic and having more control over their lives, and also being less collectivistic, meaning that they were less sort of working as a team and cohesive and more sort of individual.
Oh wow, okay. And did the study bring up any problems? What can we say that might be wrong with the study?
I personally do not believe that there is anything wrong with this study. However, another result, which I could include, is the fact that being exposed to two cultures at the same time, their American, in the joint condition, the American side of them, so the American characteristics, became more apparent than than for the people in the single condition.
Okay, well, very interesting, but some may argue that your results can't be generalized.
Well, I would say that to a certain extent, they can, in the sense that I don't see why it couldn't be generalized to other cultures. For instance, if you put someone who is African American students watching it, and then you did the same thing except with an African sports advertisement, I feel like you could generalize it in that way, but only in that way.
Okay, so it can't exactly be generalized, but you can take the concept.
Exactly.
Okay, and could you say, because the intention of your experiment wasn't told to them, they were uninformed?
Yes, that was slightly ethically wrong of me,
okay. Well,
I will admit, but yes, they were uninformed. So, but it was only so that we did not have a bias, as they might have changed their behaviour to seem more appealing to us.
Now, lastly, do you have anything to say about your experiment?
Yes, and that is the fact that this now shows that, contrary to popular belief, that local culture, the popular belief that local culture will decrease as globalization increases, this completely goes against that, suggesting that possibly local culture might increase as globalization increases.
Well, thank you. That was very interesting, and thank you for joining us on Psychology Today.
It has been my pleasure.
And hopefully we see more experiments from you in the future.
Of course, I'm planning on being very experimental.